Good evening, my dear student. This is Suraj, chemistry teacher. Welcome in my channel, Suraj Chemistry Wala Anand sir. This is the chapter number 3. We are going to completing the chapter 90% the chapter is completed. The exercise is remaining. Today I am going to start the exercise of NCERT metals and non-metal chapter number 3. The exercise first question MCQ questions are we are discussing which of the following points give displacement reaction. AgNO3 solution and copper metal gives a displacement reaction because AgNO3 is less reactive, silver is less reactive than copper. Copper is higher in the activity series before silver, and so the silver is more copper is more reactive than silver and displaces the silver from the AgNO3 solution. So the answer is AgNO3 solution and copper metal. Which of the following method is suitable for preventing an iron frying pan from rusting? The applying of coating of zinc, because the best suitable method is to apply coating of zinc because the zinc is more active than iron and the coating of zinc will prevent rusting of iron. Applying grease will spoil the food and grease will burn when pan is put over the flame. So applying a paint will not serve the purpose because the paint will gradually come out when the frying pan is heated over the flame. So the answer is applying a coating of zinc. The answer number C. And the third question, the element react with oxygen to give a compound with high melting point. This compound is also soluble in water. The element is likely to be calcium, carbon, silicon and iron. So the element is likely to be calcium. The element is likely to be calcium because the element is calcium because the calcium oxide lime has high melting point and is soluble in water. Carbon dioxide is gas, silicon and Si2, silicon oxide and iron oxide also have a high melting point, but these are insoluble in water. Moving to the fourth question. Moving to the four questions, my dear student. This is moving to the four questions. Moving to the fourth questions, I am going to discuss you the question number third again. An element react with oxygen to make a compound with a high melting point. This compound is also soluble in water because the element is likely to be calcium, carbon, silicon because calcium is an element which is calcium because calcium oxide, that is a lime, has high melting point and is soluble in water. But carbon dioxide is a gas, silicon oxide is a, and iron oxide also have a high melting point, but these are insoluble in water. Question number 4. Food cans are coated with tin and with not zinc because zinc is more reactive than tin, as you see, and hence it would not react with acid present in the food. So moving to the next question, I going to discuss you. There are approx how many questions I tell you. There are approx there are approx 16 questions. There are approx 16 questions. So my dear student, today I discuss you approx about the 8 questions. Approx about the 8 questions I want to discuss about the 8 questions, but due to the time being, I am going to conclude. I am going to conclude the 4 questions of MCQ. From the next class, I will discuss you all the questions of NCERT question, 4 question of the 4 classes not yes. Tomorrow I will discuss you approx 10 question, 5 to 10. And the next questions is I am going to discuss you. One question is very important question for the present scenario. The questions I am going to discuss it. The question is, this is the chapter number 3. This is the chapter 3, metals and non-metals exercises of NCERT. Question number 5. Question number 5 I want to discuss. You are given a hammer. You are given a hammer. Are given a hammer. You have provided a hammer. After that, a battery, a bulb, wires and is used. A battery, a bulb, wires and a switch. What will happen? How do you use them to distinguish? would you use them to distinguish between sample of metals samples of metals and non-metals and non-metals. Next one, question number B. Assess the usefulness of these tests. Assess the usefulness of these tests in distinguishing between metals and non-metals. These are the two questions. You are given a hammer, a battery, a bulb, wires and a switch. You are going to distinguish the question. How can you use? Answer number 5A. My dear student, beat the sample with hammer. 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 If the sample flattens in thin sheets, if the sample flattens in thin sheet, if the sample flattens in thin sheet, it is a metal, otherwise it is a non-metal. It is a metal, otherwise it is a non-metal. After that, use a battery, a bulb, a wire and a switch. Use a battery, a bulb, wire and a switch. Switch to set up a circuit with the sample. To set up the circuit. To set up the circuit. To set up the circuit. To set up a circuit with the sample. With the sample. Switch on the current. Switch on the current. If the bulb goes, switch on the current. If the bulb close, that is the sample conduct electricity. That is the sample conduct electricity. Sample conducts electricity. Then it is a metal, otherwise it is a non-metal. Answer number B. Answer number B says, assess the usefulness of this step in distinguishing between metal and non-metal. The above tests are useful in distinguishing between a metal and a non-metal. The above tests are useful in distinguishing between a metal and a non-metal. Between a metal and a non-metal, because these are based upon the physical properties. Because These are based upon the physical properties and non-destructive as no chemical and non-destructive non-destructive and non-destructive as no chemical reaction as no chemical reactions no chemical reactions no chemical reactions are involved in this test are involved in this test. So my dear student, this is all about the question number 5. You have given a hammer, a battery, a bulb, wires, and a switch. How would you use them to distinguish between samples of metals and non-metal? Question number 1 answer. Beat the sample with hammer. If the sample flattens in the thin sheet, it is a metal. Otherwise, it is not going to flatten in the sheet. It is a non-metal. Use a battery, a bulb, wire, and a switch to set up a circuit. With the sample, switch on the current. If the bulb glows, that is the sample conduct electricity, and then it is a metal. And if bulb doesn't glow, otherwise it is a non-metal. This is the answer number second. Answer number B. This is the answer number A of question number 5. Answer number B. This type of question is very important for board examination 2026 CBSE. Okay, so second question is assess the usefulness of these metals. This test in distinction between metal and metal. How can you assess the usefulness of this test in distinguishing between metal and metal? So the above test we have done in the A, the useful in distinguishing between a metal and a non-metal because these are based upon the physical properties and non-destructive as no chemical reaction are involved in the test. So my dear students, this is all about the today class of NCERT exercise. Question number 1, 2, 3, 4 are MCQ and question number 5, and these are the things we discuss. So the last question of today I am going to discuss you the question number 6. The last question of today, the question number 6, I am going to discuss you the question number 6. So my dear student, try to understand the things and topics in a clear way. The concept must be clear. My dear student, the last question of today, that is the question number 6. That is the question number 6. The question number 6 are what are amphoteric oxides? Question number 6, what are amphoteric oxides? What are amphoteric oxides? And give 2 examples of amphoteric oxide. Give 2 examples of amphoteric oxides. Give 2 examples of amphoteric oxides. So my dear student, let us try to understand what is amphoteric oxide. Those oxides we saw basic, those oxides shows both, and those oxide we shows both acidic as well as basic behavior are called basic behavior are called amphoteric oxide. So my dear student, those oxide which shows both acidic as well as basic behavior. Basic behavior means they show the acid behavior and the basic behavior are called amphoteric oxide. For example, let us take the example. For example number 1, zinc oxide, ZnO. Second is aluminum oxide, Al2O3. Al2O3 as the aluminum oxide Al2O3 both with acid and as they react both with acid and alkali, as they react both with acid and alkali, both with acid and alkali. How they react? Let us see. The zinc plus 2HCl, that is ZnCl2 plus H2. Aluminum oxide, ZnS plus 2NaOH that is the Na2ZnO2 aqueous plus H2 gas. So what are amphoteric oxide? Give two example of amphoteric oxide. Those oxides which shows both acidic as well as basic behavior are called amphoteric oxides. For example, zinc oxide. Give two example of amphoteric oxide, zinc oxide and aluminum oxide. As they react both with acid and alkali, like example of zinc plus 2HCl, ZnCl2 plus H2, zinc plus 2NaOH, Na2ZnO2 plus H2. So my dear student, this is Surya, chemistry teacher. Welcome in my channel, Chemistry Wala Anand sir. Thank you for watching my video. Give more subscribe of my channel. Subscribe more and more my channel. And these are the some important questions for the board examination. This is also very important question for board examination. So my dear student, subscribe my channel more and more. And crash course you come on from 15th November. I started the crash course. So WhatsApp on my number or comment on my YouTube channel that sir I want to join your crash courses of 400 questions. So what are amphoteric oxide? It is quite clear. Thank you for watching my video. Subscribe my channel more and more. Give more views, likes and share. Thank you for watching. This is Surya, chemistry teacher. Thanks.